Narayanam namaskritya naranchayv narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirahet. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter number 2, Verse number 30. These are prayers of the Devas headed by Brahma to Krishna, who is still hiding. He is already getting the prayers before even born. So we read previously that how he is the root of this material world. In a shelter, a tree is described as a tree which has one shelter of Prakriti, energy of Krishna, three roots, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, right? 4 fruits, 5 branches, all that, and there are 2 birds sitting on it.
Just one question. Why is the tree upside down?
Because there's shelter. Where is the tree? Tree is rooted somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the root is up. The tree grows on earth.
Mm-hmm.
Means it needs a ground from where the tree grows.
Mm-hmm.
So the tree is growing from Krishna, and he is up. So therefore is down. So in the previous sloka he spoke about that you take various forms which give pleasure to devotees and suffering to non-devotees or asuras by they see this form. And now in this one he explains that those who cannot see the form, what do? They meditate. So he says, Tvayam bhujaksha akhila sattva dhamni samādhina veshita chetasaike tvatpada potena mahat kritena kurvanti govatsapadam bhavabdhim. So he says that you are akhila sattva dhamni, that your form is pure sattva. Akhil means complete. Dhaman means body. And you have lotus eyes, ambujaksha. So some people, what they do is, Eke means some. So samādhina avishita chetasa, that they fix their mind on you through samādhī. So there are 2 types of samādhī, sampragyat samādhī and asampragyat samādhī. So which type of samādhī is this? Those who are meditating on Krishna. Is it sampragyat or asampragyat?
Sampragyat.
Sampragyat.
Yes.
Everybody agrees? Think again. Vilas, you're touching your ear. Nobody says asampragyat. So which is higher, asampragyat or sampragyat?
Can you explain the meaning?
Sampragyat means where there is an object on which you meditate, and asampragyat means no object. Yes.
What about asampragyata samādhī? So it's, well, in the state of asampragyata samādhī, you have to be in a state of asampragyata samādhī really in order to get rasa. Rasa is an experience of Brahma Sahodara. It's an experience of the asampragyata samādhī, because when you experience rasa, then you go to a place that's anirvachaniya. So anirvachaniya means that it's an experience of asampragyata.
Now first define what is asampragyat.
Well, asampragyata is when I'm saying that it's a momentary. When you experience rasa, there's a momentary experience of asampragyata samādhī.
No, that's okay, but what is asampragyata? Momentary or
yes, because asampragyata samādhī means to totally become incapable, kaivalya. That you're in a situation where you're totally separated, where chitta, vritti, nirodha is complete. And so this is what happens when you have rasa. Your chitta-vritti becomes niruddha, because you're experiencing, at the time of experiencing rasa. Because that's the rasa.
And what is rasa?
Okay, well, rasa is an experience in this, the way I'm using it now. The way I'm using it now, right, is according to according to Rasa Shastra. Yes, because you asked me this before, and so I have to ask me that, and I expect one sentence answer is not appropriate.
Okay, so my question to you is that when you're experiencing rasa, so rasa has got Vishyalamban or not?
Those are all causes. So when you experience rasa, so when you experience rasa, then you're no longer conscious temporarily, or at least experience for the duration of experience of rasa. You're in a state of anirvachaniya. It's Brahma Sahodara, because you have because you're temporarily, all the different alambanas, all the vibhavas and bhavas and so on that go into creating rasa. Those are all, they've done their job, and they've created the rasa, and the creation of rasa transports you to another level of consciousness. That's Brahma Sahodara.
So just like that, if you have to make, say, laddu, right? And for that you use sugar, some maida, some water, some ghee, right? And that is going to give rasa. But now you're saying when the rasa comes, then all these things disappear.
No. This is what you call it's just like when you eat the laddu, then the taste. So the taste, you can't express the taste. You can't really describe.
You cannot express, but the object is there.
No, but yes, the thing is there. It's already there. But the taste, you're having the taste. So now that experience of the taste is anirvachaniya. So it transports you to another state of consciousness, and that state of consciousness is a state of sattva, right? It's a stage of sattva, and that's the state of kaivalya samadhi, of sampragata samadhi. It's also a state of pure sattva. So the parallel is there. You just have to think of how rasa functions. How does it function psychologically? That when you're watching some drama or something and that you're affected, and suddenly you start crying, and you don't, and it's something that if you have to explain it, then you have to. It's very difficult to explain it. You can only explain it by talking about the causes, about the different alambanas and the vibhavas and anubhavas and so on.
Okay.
Anyway, that's asampragata samadhi. I vote for asampragata samadhi.
Okay.
No, because when Radha and Krishna are
you say you are only thinking that anirvachaniya means that there is no object. But anirvachaniya is also beyond that. That is the beginning of anirvachaniya. Generally what Sahitya Darpan is describing is talking about that Brahma Swada Sahodara. But beyond that there is also Bhagavad Aswada.
Yes.
And that is not asampragyata. So asampragyata, I understand, Sahitya Darpan type of rasa which you are saying, that can be asampragyata.
Even in the Leela, Radha and Krishna are experiencing intermittently. It's a part, they're going back and forth between states of asampragyata and sampragyata. Because when they're experiencing rasa, Radha and Krishna forgets himself. He sees Radha, and Radharani so forgets herself that she sees
but that is not a sampragyata.
She sees her reflection in Krishna, and she thinks that she's seeing another woman.
That's not a sampragyata. A sampragyata has
I understand
no
what you're
vision.
saying. I'm trying to say that what I'm saying is that it's a parallel. That's why it says Brahma Sahodara. That there's a parallel.
I'm saying that this is also anirvachaniya, but it has got a vishaya. Only thing is it does not have a material vishaya. There is chitta-vritti nirodha here, but chitta-vritti nirodha is not in that sense that there is no vishaya. It is so much focused on that vishaya that this chitta-vritti is nirodha outside.
I still think that Radha and Krishna themselves and gopis, everybody is experiencing something that takes them to a state where there is no more Vishaya.
No, they don't want to be nirvishaya. I mean, you read what gopis are saying.
I understand that.
They don't want to
I'm
even
saying
close
it
their...
happens. It's the psychological process that's involved.
No, I don't agree with that.
Well, we'll continue. I'm sorry I have to take so much time from your class.
Okay. So, samadhina avishita chetsaike. So, this is because you can think of that there is sampragyat samadhi is of two types. One is that when there is a material vishaya, which is described in Yoga Sutra. But beyond that, there is also spiritual transcendental vishaya. And generally, a sampragyat is considered as superior to sampragyat samadhi. But this sampragyat is different because it has got vishaya, which is Krishna himself. So it is beyond a sampragyat. That a sampragyat is just maximum Brahman, not beyond that. So obviously he is saying samadhina aveshita chetasa, that you have your absorption of mind through samadhi on whom? On Akhil Sattva Dhamani, on Krishna. So it is not a sampragyat. It has its vishaya. It's written here. So tvatpada potena saha mahat kritena. So then these are the people who cross themselves. It will come in the verse, I think the next one. But they are the one who make a boat of Krishna's feet. And then this kurvanti govatsa padam bhavabdhi. So this bhavabdhi, or this material world which is considered like an ocean, this becomes like the hoof print of a cow. Means very small. So I don't know what the boat does in that. So boat, instead of crossing the ocean, diminishes the ocean. And then you don't need the boat. That's why in the verse afterward they say that they leave the boat here. Because what are you going to do with the boat now? There is nothing. There is no more bhavabdhi. So the ocean itself is govats padam kurvanti. So kshemaya iti yuktam tadeva kshemam vastavam abhivyanjanti. So earlier in the previous verse it was said Vibharsi Rupani Avibodha Atma Kshemaya, for the welfare of the world. So what is that welfare that is being described here in this verse? So Tvaiti Khilam Nikrishtam. So Akhila means complete, but here Khila means part, and part also means incomplete, which also means inferior. So Akhila therefore means pure. So Khilam Nikrishtam Sattva Gunatmakam. So this is the material Sattva. And Akhil Sattva is Vishuddha Sattva, that is Nirguna. So this word is very confusing, this Sattva, because it seems like material guna of the Prakriti, and when you say Vishuddha Sattva, then you think it is pure Sattva. But this Sattva, when you say Vishuddha Sattva, is not the material Sattva. So this is where we have big difference from advaita-vādīs. Advaita-vādīs, they take Vishuddha Sattva as material Sattva, but pure state. And we take it as a different state. So this is what makes the distinction. So therefore it says Vishuddha Sattvam Nirgunam. So this Vishuddha Sattva is Nirguna, because this is, as it is said in Bhagavatam, it is free from Rajas Tamas. And anything which is free from Rajas and Tamas has to be free from Sattva also, because these gunas are always together. So Anyonye Milita Anyonye Gamina, Sarve Sarvatra Gamina. So they are always together, they cannot be separated. So therefore this, and then the word Dhama here means Swarupa. So Swarupa means his essential nature is free from any gunas. Amal Sattva iti cha patha. In some readings, instead of Akhil Sattva, it is Amala Sattva, which means also same. Amal means pure. Samādhina पृथिव्याम अवतीर्णस्य तव रूप गुण लीलादि ध्यानातिशयेन त्वयि आवेशितं यच्चेतः तेन हेतुना. So samadhina means that through intense meditation, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. So samadhi means when your mind is fixed on that, like the water of Ganga flowing towards the ocean. Gunasruti matrena mai sarva guhasaya. So it becomes unbroken chitta vritti, remains one only. But this chitta vritti is not material, obviously. This manifests by the grace of Krishna only. So by meditating on what? Rupa, Guna, Lila, Adi, meditating on his form, his qualities, on his name, his pastime. And that form which he manifests here on earth. So they meditate. So then because of that, is tena hetuna praptena tvat padapotena. So then they get Krishna's feet, which become like a ship. And mahat kritena mahat bhir. So this is done by the sadhus, devotees. Bhavabdehe pota tulli kritena ityartha. So the feet of Krishna, they become like a ship for the ocean. And then this ocean becomes like Govatspadam Kuruvanti Bhavabdher Astitvam api na jananti. Means they although exist here in the material world, but it is as if there is no material world. It's like you are in the ocean, but the ocean turns into the hoof print of cow, and that much water is there. So now ocean is there, but it is not troubling. You don't have to swim anymore. So which means that they live in the material world, and the material world's problems do not trouble them anymore, because they are fixed on Krishna. So now in the next verse he speaks more on this, that how they, not only that they cross it themselves, but they also help others to cross it. Swayam samuttirya sudustaram dyuman bhavarnavam bhima madabhra sauhridaha bhavat padambor huvanava matrate nidhaya yata sadanugraho bhavan. So Bhavan Sadanugraha. So he says that you are Sadanugraha. So Sadanugraha can mean that you give your grace to Sat people, or it can mean that Sat people are your Anugraha. They are, because Krishna, when he is not present, then sadhus are there. So these sadhus are the anugraha, the grace of Krishna. And what does it mean? So it says, Bhavat padambho ruhanav matrate nidhaya yata. That they cross over the material world, swayam samuttirya sudustaram. This ocean which is very difficult to cross. Because a normal material person, there is no possibility of him to get out of it. You are completely inside this material world, and then you are inside the material body, which has got so many layers, annamaya kos, pranamaya kos, manamaya kos. So all these koshas are there, and you are inside that, tied right? Like being inside a net. The bird is inside a net. You can fly here and there, but you cannot go out. So like that, the jiva is bound by the net of karma, karma jal. Right? This is network, and this is the work net. Karma means work, net. So network of work net.
Babaji, Maharaj, I just wanted to confirm one thing with you. Like in Shastras, we always get this bhav sagar, and it is always compared to ocean. And normally I have sailed on the ships. So actually swimming in ocean is much easier than swimming in rivers, what we have seen. So why this example of ocean is given always? Is it because it's unlimited, like when you are in the midst of a ship and you look all around you find ocean?
No, you're talking about the ship. What if you don't have a ship and you're in the middle of ocean? How much will you swim?
Yes.
How long can you swim? So you don't think of ship. Ship is now when the devotees make the ship. For others there is no ship. They are just swimming around and going and up and down and drinking water, which is not very tasty. So it's called, because once you are in the midst, all around you see is water only. There is no end to it. At least you can, just by swimming, you can never figure out which way you'll find the end, or can you really swim that long. So that's why it is compared like that. So Swayam Samuttirya, so that they themselves cross it, because it said that they make the boat or ship, and not only that they make the ship, but they make the ocean itself contract like the hoof print of a cow. So Bhavarnavam Bhimam Adabhra Saurida, and this Bhavarnav, it is Bhimam, it is very terrifying, because there are also various animals like those fish which eat up, and then crocodile, sharks. So there are sharks around you and you are swimming there. It's not that you can just swim and float on it. And they will come and eat up. So Adabhra Sahidat, and the devotees who have good heart, so they cross, but they leave the boat, which is in the form of Bhavat Padamboru, your lotus feet. Nidhayata Sanadugroh Bhavan. So they leave it here. So it will be explained, leaving it here means that they leave a paramparā. Means they not only that they meditate or they perform devotional service, but they teach it to others, so that they can also catch this boat and then go. So therefore he says that you are Sadanugraha, that you give your grace to devotees, or you leave your devotees in the form of grace here. Sakincha tvat pada pota ashranam ashran matrenaiva bhavabdhau gospatulya jate vaisṇava bhavabdhim ajananta padbhyam eva ullinghiyanti iti ahu swayamiti. So he says, because of the influence of your feet, which are in the form of a boat to cross this ocean becomes small, like Govatspada, like the hoof print of a cow. So then the Vaishnavas, they do not feel that they are in the ocean. Ajananta eva. And therefore they don't need the boat, they just walk away. Means natural. It's like how you feel natural. If you are in a boat, you don't feel natural. Like you sit in a plane, then you cannot go wherever you want to go. If you are in a boat, you cannot go wherever you want to go. You have very limited space. You have to stick to your seat. Maybe you can walk a little bit here and there. So even if Krishna's feet are the boat, still you are very restricted. But he says that not only his feet is a boat, but the ocean is actually disappears. So therefore they live here and don't feel as if they are in the ocean. So padbhyam eva ulangyanti. Therefore they cross it just by as if they are walking. Swamiti. Tarana sadhana nirpeksham eva. So therefore they are not dependent on the means to cross it. Because Krishna's feet have made the ocean disappear. So now they don't need the boat. Anyahi sudustaram api. For other people it is very difficult to cross. Bhimam api, because it is very terrible, very fearsome. Samuttirya yata, but they cross it and they have gone. Dyuman has Surya. Dyuman means sun, that you are like the sun. Iti tvam yesham antah karne no udeshi tesam eva tamaha punjarupa sansaro arnav tulyo bhimo dustarasya bhavati. So only those people in whom you have not manifested yourself, then their heart remains ignorant. And for them this ocean looks very terrible and big and impossible to cross over. Prem bhakti uday parvate tvai udite tu samasta tamsi swameva nashte sati. Swameva sansar taranam bhavet. But when you have manifested on the mountain of prema bhakti, loving devotion, so then all the ignorance is dispelled. Then janeti asu vairagyam jnanam chayadayat. When bhakti comes, then knowledge also comes. So then there is no more ignorance. So wherever there is knowledge, there is no ignorance. Right? Krishna Surya Sam Maya Samandhakar. Right? Jahan Krishna, kahan nahi Maya Radhikar. So then there is no more Maya there. Means no more darkness. There is light. And thus they can easily cross the ocean. To cross you need some light. Ato bhavat padambaruha navam atraiva kule nidhaya. Therefore they don't need this, so they leave the boat here only. So what does it mean? Bhakti marga sampradayam pravritya eva yataste. So the meaning is that they propagate bhakti sampradaya, so that others can also take advantage. Yatha anyepi evam tareyu, so that others can also cross in this way, and they will also not take the boat. They will also leave it here. So the boat actually is not moving anywhere. Because when you go near the boat, the ocean disappears. So in Tulsi Ramcharitmanas, he says that when you take the Ram Nam, then the ocean is dried up. Bhav Sindhu Sukhai. So here it is not dried up, it becomes small. Because drying up can be a problem. So yatha anyepi evam tareyu iti abhiprayena utprekshate iti bhava. So it is to be conjectured like that. Atra sansarasya samasthena nashtatvepi vayam sansarina eveti bhaktanam mithyabhimana eva govats padakara sansara. So now he says that why is that this little hoof print remains? Why not make this completely dry, as Goswami Tulsidas says, that bhavsindhu sukhai. So he says that the devotees, they think, when they are living here in the material world, they think that we are not devotees, we are sansari. So therefore, this is their thinking, and for that reason it is said that it is vatsapadam, go vatsapadam. It's just their thinking. Tesham swabhimanopi anyasham bhaktamaninaam abhimana roga haro abhigya janai slagniyasya bhavati. So he says, yatha cha govatsa padjalam pavanam slagniyam cha bhavet. He says, just as the water which is in the hoof print of the cow is considered as purifying, right? Goraj is considered as purifying. The dust which comes from the feet of the cows is considered as very purifying. And if the water is there in that, it is also purifying. Generally you think that dust makes you impure, right? If somewhere dust is there, then you say dust it away, clean the dust, remove the dust. Everybody is trying to get the dust away. So here there is a special dust that is purifying. Krishna says that I walk behind my devotees so that I get purified when their dust will fall from their feet on my head. Puyayet angri renubhi. So this dust which everybody is trying to clean, he is trying to get it. So this water in the hoof print, he says, is pavanam. It is purifying and slagniyam, and it is praiseworthy because it is in the hoof print of the cow. So he says, in the same way, this abhiman, this identity of the devotees, which they say that we are here in the material world. So this purifies those who think they are devotees, bhaktamanina, who are actually not devotees but they think they are devotees. So bhaktamanina, maninam abhiman roghara. It is there to remove the ailment of those people who think they are devotees. So this is the purifying part of it. And abhigya janai slagniyasya. And those who know the science of devotion, they also praise them, that look how humble these devotees are, that they are not even thinking that they are devotees. They are thinking that we are materialistic. Vayam tu sansarina. So this is their thinking, and this he brings out these two characteristics. Yatah satsu vaiṣṇavesu eva anugrahe tadrisho nānyesu. So he says you are called sadanugraha because your anugraha is only on the Satpurusha, means Vaishnavas only, and not on others. So this is a nice sloka. Yes.
So usually feet of Krishna means service. But here I'm a little bit confused because these, like, the idea is that when I'm engaged in service, then this samsara ocean shrinks. It does not trouble me anymore because I'm fixed in the service. But here now, the service is left behind
How?
In this metaphor, or does it mean something else here?
No, he's just explaining the same idea what you are saying. I mean, where is you think the ocean actually becomes, first of all, where is the material bhavasagar?
Yeah, it's in Maya. The jiva is always liberated.
So therefore that's what he's explaining. Once you understand that.
It's a good example. Because you have the idea that understanding, if you, it's a good example because if you understand that my suffering is like tate nukampang susamikshumano, like in that verse, and then your samsara bandhan is reduced.
Yeah. Mameva ye prapadyante mayametam tarantite. Because what is Maya? Maya is only when you don't accept Krishna. Otherwise Maya is gone. So accepting Krishna also means doing service. Whether you chant the name or you do some other seva.
So this means that...
Yes.
One little correction. Is a calf hoof print instead of a cow hoof print, which is little smaller.
Okay.
Go
Go Vats. Thank you.
So, could you explain once again, I think I did not get it completely, what this Vajana makes to the actual devotees? Because they think we are samsādhīs, because there's still some little water for them.
No, this water, that's what he's saying. You see, this is all metaphorical.
Yes.
There's no water and there's no Govats Padam. You have to just understand that Maya, once you are here in the material world, you cannot cross it over.
Yeah.
Think of any person, general in the material world, how would they get out of this? They are bound by their karma, whether they know it or they don't know it. Most people these days don't even know it, that they are in the prison. Right? If you think that prison means you are free, that is the worst situation. Right? If you know that you are in prison, you may make an effort to get out of it. But these days people don't know that. They think we are free. That's what people are talking, we are free. You are inside a prison, where is the freedom?
Like the bull being led by the nose around him.
Yes. So you are bound by your karma, you are bound by the three gunas, externally, internally, everywhere. Where is the freedom? But out of ignorance, people think like that. So how can you get out of it? It's not possible. So that's why he says this is like an ocean. And you are thrown in the midst of the ocean. You don't even know which side I shall swim if you want to cross it. Like people don't even know what is the purpose of life. Means which side I have to swim. Nothing. They are just rotating there, like the bull who goes around squeezing the oil in the oil machine. So by performing devotional service, you become free from that. That is the Govats. But what he's saying is that why it does not say that the ocean disappears? Because devotees are still thinking. They don't have this pride. I'm a devotee, I'm free, I'm liberated. They don't think like that. So that is what represents. So that's what it is representing. So now this next verse is very important. Quite often it is cited. Yannirvindaksha vimuktamānina stvayasthabhāvāda vishuddha buddhayah Aruhya krichrena param padam tataha patanti adho nadrita yushmadangraya. So, vimuktamāninaha he Arvindaksha, ye anye vimuktamānina he Arvindaksha tvayi astbhāvād avishuddha buddhaya. Te are krishrena parampadam aruhya api adha patanti anadrita yusmadangraya. That there are other people who think they are liberated. Previous one is talking about devotees who are also thinking we are not liberated. But they are liberated because they are devotees. And then there are other set of people who think they are liberated. Okay, the devotees who are liberated, they think they are not liberated, and these are non-devotees who think they are liberated. So, because they do not have devotion to you, astabhavat, so they have avishuddha buddhi. They have impure intellect. And although they rise high, means they can come up to pure sattva, become jivan mukta.
You can almost swim across the ocean.
Yes. They like sea. Here is Vrindavan Dham. But from there, the big wave comes and takes them back and throws it in the midst of the ocean. And now they are again lost. So, patanti adaya anadrita yusmadangraya. They fall down because they disrespect your lotus feet. So, Vaishnavanameva bhavarnavo gospati bhavati. It is only for the Vaishnavas that the ocean of material world becomes small like the water in the hoof print of a calf. Let's rectify ourselves, not cow. So, ye tu tav vishuddha sattvamaya vapushi maya bhavanto jnānina. So, these other people who are following the path of jnāna. So, what is the path of jnāna? Is that these jñānīs, they think, they accept Krishna. They accept Krishna as Bhagavan also. They also worship Krishna, they have temples, they do puja and everything. But they think that Krishna is also having a body which is made of maya. So, sattvamaya vapushi. So, as we said, he said, akhil sattva dhamani. So, they take the meaning to be that his body is made of sattva of prakriti. That's what they think. So, this is their understanding. They all think like that. The followers of Shankaracharya, this is the understanding of advaita-vādīs. So, tesham tu dustaro bhīma. So, for them, they cannot cross it over. As it was said that it is dustara and bhīmam. It is terrible and they cannot cross it. So, Krishna Mahaniya, as it is said by Sanat Kumara to King Prithu, Krishna Mahaniya bhavarnavam aplavesha sadvarga nakrama sukhena titirashanti. He says that this material world is very troublesome place for them. It is again compared here as bhavarnava, or which is ocean of material world. Why? Because aplavesha. They do not have plava to cross it. And shadvarga nakram asukhena titirshanti. And then it is filled with crocodiles in the form of 6 types, 6 varieties of crocodiles. Not only one type, because every species has got many varieties. So, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Matsarya. So, these keep on troubling them. They don't become free from them. So, asukhena titirshanti. So, they wish to cross it over. And with great difficulty. Not sukhena, but asukhena. Tattvam harer bhagavato bhajaniyam angrim kritvodupam vyasnam uttara dustaranam. So they are advising him that you, O king, you should cross this material world which is difficult to cross by making the boat of the feet of Krishna, who is worshipable, bhajaniya, Bhagavata, who is Bhagavan, and Tattvam harer bhagavato bhajaniyangri, which is his feet are the tattva. So you make that as the boat and cross it over. So that means the Sanat Kumaras, they are comparing the jñānīs and bhaktas. The first half of the verse is speaking about the jñānīs, and for them it says Krishna mahaniya bhavarnava maplavesha. So for them there is a Krishna, there is so much trouble, so much difficulty, because they have to control their senses and work very hard for that, and still it is not possible. And then for the devotees, they sit in the boat Udupam and go. So that's what is being compared. Iti yatha sanat kumarena uktam. And then Krishna also says, Klesho adhiktaraste sam avyakta sakta chet-sam avyakta hi gatir dukkham dehavat bhiravapyate. When Arjuna asked that of the two types of yogis, which one is better? So Krishna said that those who fix their mind on me, they are better. And the others, those who meditate on avyakta, they have to go through a lot of tribulation. Because try to go to a sampragyat samādhī without sampragyat. So try to fix your mind on something which is not there, which is unmanifest, no form, no quality. I am Brahmasmi. So it is difficult. So therefore it says Klesho adhiktaras tesham. So difficult to do that. Iti yatha bhagavatapi. So this is spoken by Krishna also. And also Sri Narada has said, Naskarmyam apyachyut bhav varjitam nashobhate jnanam alam niranjanam kutah punah sasvada bhadram ishwarena chapyarpitam karma tadapya karanam. So he says that even this neskarmya is not competent. Nashobhate means that it is not potent enough. Jnanam alam niranjanam. So which jnana? Achyut bhava varjitam. If it is coupled with achyut bhava, means devotion to Krishna, then it is fine. So naskarmyam api achyut bhava varjitam nashobhate jnanam alam niranjanam. So where is the question then of karma? Kuta punaya bhadram sasvada padram ishwarena chapyarpitam. So karma is inauspicious from beginning to end. Even if it is niskam karma, tadapya karana. If it is not offered to Krishna, and if it is niskam karma, then it's only that karma which you offer that can purify you. But if you don't offer it, then maximum it can take you to heaven. Or it will bring you to jnana, and then again you have the same problem. Sarva karma khilam parthe jnana parisamapyate. So all these slokas, nasinad tathaiva devapi ahu. So the devas are saying the same thing. In this sloka, they are also referring to that these anya. So this anya refers to jñānīs, because there are only two paths primarily: karma, jnana and bhakti. Karma, either you have to do, couple it with bhakti, offer it to Krishna, then it is beneficial. Otherwise, it is only an indirect thing. It has to come to an end in jnana. So therefore, anya refers to jñānīs. Ukta lakshanayebhya tvad anugrihitebhya sadbhyo bhinna. So who is anya? Anya, other means they are different from which was mentioned in the previous sloka as sadanugraha. Sadanugraho bhavan means those devotees who have the grace of Krishna. So these who do not have the grace of Krishna. Arvindaksha iti. So Arvindaksha, what does it signify? Tvat kripavalokan madhurya ananubhavina iti bhava. So they do not have the experience of the sweetness of your grace or glance, merciful glance. So kripavalokan madhurya ananubhavina. Because why would Krishna give grace to them? They don't even accept him as the ultimate truth. So whenever they accept whatever they speak, they only think he is a Saguna Brahman. So Krishnat Param. So he is saying this. That I do not know anything other than Krishna. But then, what does he mean really by this? Then he talks about Brahman. And the ultimate. He is the same person who wrote Advaita-vādīs. So he says, Krishnat param kimapi tattvam aham na jane. I do not know anything higher than Krishna. But then he says, highest is Brahman. So what can you say about such a person? It's bewildering.
And he is well loved by the advaita-vādīs. He is nevertheless well loved by the advaita-vādīs, and it gives them an opportunity to talk about and hear and chant about Krishna.
Yes, but remain with Brahman.
Guru Sharanananda, you know Guru Sharanananda. Guru Sharanananda is marvelous. Of course, I suppose at the bottom of it all, he's an advaita-vādī.
Yeah, he is an advaita-vādī.
Of course, he's an advaita-vādī, but at the same time, he's very relishable to listen to.
Yes. That is the beauty.
He talks about bhakti.
They talk about Krishna, they talk about bhakti, and then when people come, ultimately it is Brahman. So they actually use our books to pull people to themselves. Because if they don't talk about bhakti, what would they talk about? How many people will go if they were just talking about Vedanta Sutra? So all of them, they speak on Bhagavatam now, they speak on Ras Leela, and they speak on all this. But behind the curtain, it is only Brahman. So this is the trick. They actually confuse people because they are very good speaker. Yeah, they are Akhandananda Swami, Kalpatri. They are fantastic speakers.
Akhandananda Saraswati did the Hindi translation of the Bhagavatam. All this Gita Press Bhagavatam is done by Akhandananda Saraswati.
But he is a staunch Advaita-vādī. Completely, 100%. He will. He can talk on Madhurya Kadamni, he can talk on Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. He has given talks on Madhurya Kadamni also. Yeah, no, Akhandananda Swami. Yeah. I have his book. They talk about Nam, Jap, everything. But complete Advaita.
But I don't think Hanuman Prasad. I think Hanuman Prasad.
Hanuman Prasad is an exception. Hanuman Prasad and Swami Ram Sukdas. These two, but not Goenka. He is also pure Advaita.
Yeah, I know.
But when they speak on bhakti, it is normal person cannot figure it out. They are so perfect. They will quote from Ujjal Nilmani, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Sandarbha, everywhere. Narad Bhakti Sutra. It's amazing. They have vast knowledge of bhakti literature. More than, I don't know any Vaishnava who knows it, really speaking. Yes, Akhandananda Saraswati Karpatri, they know everything by heart. They know Ramayana, they know Ramcharitmanas, everything. But then you hear them talk on Vedanta Sutra, and they will completely cut everything down to pieces, systematically.
I have a question. Can I ask please?
Yes.
What does offering karma to Krishna mean? Does it mean that when I am playing, studying or doing something, then I always should think about Krishna, or what does it mean?
So you should think that I am doing this for Krishna. When you study, you think I am studying for pleasing Krishna. And when you play, then you should think I am doing this to please Krishna. But when you fight with your brother, then don't think like that.
Okay.
Maybe. A bit of Vira rasa is good too.
When you fight with your brother, then you should think I am doing it for myself. Okay, so any other question? We'll continue this commentary tomorrow.
Babaji, I have a quick question.
Yes.
In this verse, the verse Kricho Mahaniya Bhavarnavam Aplavesha. Aplavesha. Plava is non boat, but Aplavesha is said here. What is Aplavesha in India?
Well, means they are without boat. And Ishaha, I have to see why the word Isha is coming. Krishna. Bhavarnavam Aplava. Aplava is understanding.
Yeah. But why Isha is said here?
Let's see, maybe some different reading. Sometimes there's
Gita Press is the same verse also.
It could mean they are not capable of crossing. Because Isha also signifies capability.
Okay.
Samarthya. Anything else?
Thank you.
Question that how the listener from the advaita-vādī, who is listening from the advaita-vādī, they digest this statement that Tattvamasi.
Say it again.
How the listener who listening from the advaita-vādī, how they digest this statement that Tattvamasi.
What is the problem? What is the problem in digesting that?
Tattvamasi means you are also Brahman.
Yeah. So there are so many people, they think that you do bhakti and ultimately you will become God.
Then to whom you are worshipping?
Krishna.
Who is Krishna?
You are also Krishna.
Then
Yeah, they say like that. You have to listen to them. It is
that is their saying, but how the people digest?
because people accept. How do they digest? That just as the speaker are speaking, they also accept it. It says, now you are covered by Maya, otherwise you are Ishvara only. This is the philosophy. Jiva Brahmaiva Napara. It is by the influence of Maya you are thinking, just like they give the example that you are a prince, but you got lost from your parents and you are thinking you are poor and you are wandering, and then the father, the king, has made announcement, anybody who finds me a son. Son was small when he got lost, so finally somebody finds him, then suddenly he is a prince. But before that he is thinking he is poor. When he was thinking he is poor, then also he was a prince. So now by the influence of Maya you are thinking you are Jiva. When Maya will be removed, then you will realize that you are Ishvara.
If regarding the concept of worshipping, they also worship.
Yeah, so Krishna is one who is free from Maya.
So, but for the flow of charge, the potential difference must be different.
Potential difference is this, that he is the one who is free from Maya and you are one who is under the influence of Maya. So by worshipping him, you get the power so that you can get also free from Maya and become like him.
So still they considering the potential difference.
In the conditioned state, yes. Not inside. It's only in the conditioned state. And then conditioning is of different levels by karma. So therefore there is variety.
Then how someone is already in the higher potential, then who made them to go to the higher potential?
By doing sadhana.
So from whom they getting potential?
Potential means what? You already have Baddha Mukta iti vyakhya gunta mena vastuta. Gunasya maya mulatvat name bandhana moksha. There is no real bondage. It is all in your thinking. It's like if you have money in your pocket but you forgot and you are searching it everywhere. And then someone says, oh, money is in your pocket. So then money was already there. You forgot. So who gives potency? Nothing. But potency is just jnāna and ajñāna. You are under ajñāna and then you get knowledge and jnāna is removed. That's all. Rite jnānatana mukti. Brahmvid brahmaiva bhavati. Knower of the Brahman becomes the Brahman. Without jnana there is no mukti. Ajñānena avritam jnanam tena muhyante jantava. Krishna says this. You are covered by ajñāna, therefore you are bewildered. Yesham nasitam atmana. But you will destroy it. Then prakāsyati tatparam, then you again become enlightened.
Madhusudan says that there are 3 levels. He says first it's tavaham, and then it's tvam mama, and then last one is tvam aham.
See? 3 levels. First I belong to you, then you and I, we are equal, and then, oh no, what is the second?
Tvam mama.
You are mine, and then you are me.
But the thing, but what about when in that verse from Alankar Kostuva that you like about it is, you know, that asmat
Nismat prayoga.
Okay, so they in that verse, aren't they experiencing? Yes.
So Radharani says that some people say that I love you and you love me. He says they don't know that between you and me there is no usage of I and you. Asmad ismat prayogo na bhavati. So they take all these verses and say this is the Brahmavada.
Now I'm realizing that these people are surely covered by Maya. In real sense.
Not only they are covered in Maya, if you listen to them, then you will also get covered. Because you cannot say one word to refute them. They'll give you so many slokas from Bhagavad Gita. Akhandananda Swami was giving logic. Just listen to the logic. He says, Krishna says, Janma karam cha me divyam evam yoveti tatvata. Gyatva. Janma karam cha me divyam evam yoveti tatvata. Yeah. So my birth and my activities are divine. Right? One who knows this in truth, he doesn't take any birth again. Mameti. Punarjanma naiti mameti swarjane comes to me. So now he says that somebody's birth and activity are divine. And if you know it, how is that you become liberated? Unless it is yours.
Oh God.
Because if you are in bondage and actually you are liberated and somebody tells you that no, you are actually a divine person, then only it will happen. But if somebody is divine and you come to know this person is divine, how is that you will become divine? That is only possible if you yourself are one with that person.
Then why not they are saying about me?
Who?
Who is saying that you are equal to the Krishna? Then why not they are saying the pastime about me?
What pastime you have? You are suffering here in the material world.
Yeah. Then if me is equal to Krishna, then they can...
You are equal to Krishna when you are free from ajnana, not otherwise. So that's why they say, evam yaveti tatvata. When you know this in truth, which means when your ajnana is removed, then. Before that you are not.
No, they prove that they glorify me and...
They are not glorifying you.
No, make me to liberated.
They want you to become free from liberated. What is the point in hearing about your Leela? Your Leela is all material.
And then why Krishna is also equal? Why they are...
Because Krishna is Mukta Purusha. He is a Mukta Purusha. That's why he says, my birth and activities are divine. They are not like conditioned being. And if you can understand this, you become like that.
Why only Krishna? Why not other people?
Which other people? Which other people? Because your birth is not divine. Krishna's birth is divine, not yours. So how you will become free? By hearing your birth. Your birth is by the influence of Krishna. Karma. Krishna's birth is not by karma. Socha.
There's just one thing I can't really understand, because Krishna is saying himself in the Bhagavad.
Yeah, your voice is cutting.
They manage to get people because they are flattering their egos. That's the trick, isn't it? So why people don't go for bhakti right away? Because it's so clear when you read Bhagavad Gita.
No,
Krishna himself...
It is not clear. You talk with Alan and see if he says it is clear. Bhakti. Even Alan does not agree. I had so many times arguments with him. No, it is.
So I will ask you.
You are thinking it is clear because you have heard classes, but it's not clear. What do you think?